ride with me in my foul life.
Podcast World with Shake and Chad Belding back at you. Another episode. Dickies Workwear podcast series brought to you by our friends at Dickies. Are you wearing Dickies? Where are you when you're wearing Dickies? Are you farming, ranching? Are you butchering? Are you gardening? Are you a construction worker, bus driver, doctors, nurses? Dickies makes all sorts of workwear and apparel for all different walks of life, all different livelihoods. One thing is for sure, we were put on this earth to work, and Dickies supports the working man, the working woman all over the world. And today's episode is no different. We're going to talk about working and passion and what it takes to be successful, and discipline and self-starters, motivation, inspiration. What does it take to get ahead in the world and create your version of the American dream? There's so many different styles, stories of the American dream. Are you going to write yours? And that's what we're in this business for with Dickies right now, to figure out people's stories and to live and learn through them and hear them out. Today's guest is the brother of a former guest, Pat Ladue. Brad Ladue's on the podcast today to talk about the other side of the swimming pool business and what it takes to maintain the reputation that Sun Leisure has built in the Northern Nevada area. I'm excited about it. Brad, how are you, my brother?
Good, my man. Nice to see you. Thanks for having me.
How push that microphone back just a little bit. There you go. What you been doing today?
Just hanging out, buddy. Watching a little football. You know, same old, same old.
NFL
first Sunday.
You watch NFL?
Just the only reason I watch it because of fantasy.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Otherwise, they're just
bunch of knuckleheads.
Are they kneeling today?
I wasn't watching all of it. I don't know, but I wouldn't put it past them for sure.
How are you? Are you an Auburn Tigers football fan for college? Right?
College, yes, sir.
Why Auburn? Do you have family that lived in Alabama?
My family. I had my uncle that was the dean of students for Auburn, Alabama.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Did he send you like merch and apparel? You just fell in love with the logo, or what?
Been to Auburn multiple times, been to a game there, and just captured my heart.
You know, the greatest athlete of all time in the history of the world went to Auburn.
Bo Jackson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Bo. He is the man.
He is the man.
He's freaking, dude, I absolutely loved Bo Jackson when I was growing up. So your brother was on the show, and we talked about kind of the inner workings of pretty much the whole business, but the customer experience once they come into the store and choosing a pool, choosing a spa, and then kind of doing the walkthrough and everything that pretty much builds up to what you do. And you lead up with your dad, Terry Ladue, you lead up the outside crews of actually inserting and installation and construction of the pool, the plumbing, the electrical.
Absolutely.
So you got into this same as your brother, to where you grew up in the family business.
We grew up in the pool store, yep, since we were 2 years old, playing Nintendo in the back room.
Really?
Yes, sir.
And did you know it at a young age that you were going to work in the business for the rest of your life?
You know what? I guess I never really thought about it, but after seeing successful company like that, it would be a knucklehead thing for me to do, to not pursue it and continue on my dad's, legacy or dream.
Did your dad always want you to be involved? Did he always, from a young age, when you were old enough to sweep the floor at the pool store, did he have you doing the chores around the pool store and making sure that you're working?
Oh, absolutely. And like I said, he was never forcing us to be in the pool business. I mean, he was always the open dad to, whatever you want to pursue in life, he was always backing us 100%. But like I said, he'd obviously lit a fire underneath me and my brother to continue on to, build the legacy that he's grown for 35 years.
And how does it come to where you are the outside support of the business and running the construction crews, and Pat kind of stays in? It's kind of Pat and Patty in the store, your mom, and then you got you and Terry, your dad, out in the field,
sure, running
the construction part of it. How was that? How was that come about?
Well, so like I said, I mean, years ago I used to work in a pool store. It was I can't be in one place, like be in an office all day. That's not my setting. I prefer to be outside dealing with our customers, switching jobs, going back and forth to different locations. Pat was out in the field for a little bit, but he gets kind of molded into to be the office guy, to take care of the inner workings of the pool store. And like I said, I was more of a hands-on kind of guy. I like to get dirty, get down in the dirt, roll around in the mud and stuff like that. So that's kind of how it spun off. Like I said, he worked in the field for a while, but then he molded into more like the office guy.
And you just automatically took a loving for the manual labor part of it, because there's a lot of manual labor that goes into putting a pool in.
Absolutely.
It's intense for a week at a time, and then you might have a couple days until the next one drops. But every day from May until right now, pretty much October, until the ground's frozen, you either have a pick or a shovel, or you're running an mini excavator or a backhoe or something.
Shovel, wheelbarrow, yeah, something like that.
Yeah, pushing a wheelbarrow. What is your fascination with that? Are you a manual labor guy that you love it so much that it keeps you in shape, it keeps your mindset? Like, is that what you're set out to do in life? Is I know that you manage the guys too, but you're in there, you and your dad are both performing manual labor every day also.
Yeah, we sweat every single day, absolutely. Like I guess I'm more of a hands-on kind of guy. I have to be in it. I have to be in the mud, me in the dirt. I like to make sure that everything on the outside goes okay. Like all of our installations done right, properly, stuff like that. I'm more fit and for the outside, I guess you could say. Like I said, it keeps me young, keeps me healthy, keeps me fit. I'm out, I'm always moving and shaking and, walking around all day, and, I'm always on my feet. So it's always been easier for me to be outside than inside the office.
So do you see it continuing that way? You're in your mid-30s right now. You're young. You're 30 years away from even thinking about retiring. Absolutely. Your dad's 67. He still busts his ass every day manually.
Right.
Probably not as much as he was in his 30s. Maybe he is. I don't know how he was working in his 30s, but he's a workaholic now.
He's a workaholic now.
Do you consider yourself a workaholic, or do you think you're in between your dad and somebody that might not be as extreme of wanting to work, all the way into your freaking late 60s like your dad is?
Yeah, I guess. I guess. I'm just as hard as worker as he is. If I could ever live up to the expectations my father put out for us, I would be the best man in the world, because he's the best guy, the hardest worker I've ever met. So if I could do a half or 3/4 of what he's done, I would say that would be an accomplishment on my part.
Was your dad the kind of guy that it was all work all the time, or did you get to do enjoyable things growing up, like the family vacations, extracurricular sports, leagues, or was Terry just more geared of building the Sun Leisure brand and the company? Was he around if there was a lot of extracurricular stuff going on? I know that you played hockey. I know that you were a wakeboarder. I know that you did a lot of things that you're a pilot. You have your pilot's license, which we're going to get into, which is unbelievable to me. But you're a man of many talents, but did you have an upbringing to where it was you got to enjoy a lot of the extracurricular parts of life, or was it always work all the time?
Nope. He was very good at separating both work and then, coming to our baseball games, hockey games, whatever it may be. We had a great vacation, lifestyle outside of work. So he was a very hard worker, but it wasn't work all the time. He did a good job of separating, work and then family. Obviously, working with family, and then separating and going back home and being a family guy instead of just the boss being at the job site.
So what does it take to work on Terry's crew? I'm sure that you guys keep a very close-knit business. You have employees that have been with you a long time, but it takes a while to sort through individuals to find the right cut, the right person that's going to fit that mold that Terry set forth in the Sun Leisure early days. And you don't want somebody that's going to come in there and be irresponsible. You don't want somebody that's going to be a safety hazard. You don't want somebody that's going to be lazy. Absolutely. You got to have self-starters that are going to be representing the company and making that customer's experience after Pat and Patty set forth in the pool in the store. Now outside, you guys got to be a workforce that comes in and stays safe, stays clean, stays organized.
A responsible workforce.
Yeah. Yep. What do you look for? And do you help your dad hire the guys for the busy season? Yeah. Do you have a full-time crew all year round? Or are they just seasonal workers? How does it work out?
Well, with our weather up here, it's kind of hard to be a year-round business in the pool industry, because obviously our winters get cold, snow, stuff like that. But usually our crews, we'll find them something to do throughout the year. So we'll always keep the same crew. And then, like I said, if the weather's nice during the wintertime, we'll just continue on to work, installing pools, Like I said, if the weather comes in, we may take a couple days off. But yeah, we're pretty consistent, keeping the guys going as much as possible year round. Absolutely.
And what do you look for? Tell me, like, what are the qualifications that you have to be invited in on that work crew?
Well, obviously, I mean, you got to have self-motivation. You can't be lazy because Terry Ladue won't have nothing to do. Won't hire you. You got to be semi-smart. Obviously, responsible is a big one. Personable to the customers because you're going to be interacting with, building a swimming pool in someone's backyard. Homeowners are going to be home. You got to be, clean cut. Can't come to work in tore up jeans and shaggy hair, and you know what I'm saying? You got to keep yourself kind of clean. But yeah, like I said, my dad's a hardworking guys. I mean, don't necessarily need to know tons about the pool industry because obviously we'll get in there and we'll teach you everything. But yeah, like I said, the biggest thing is a hardworking guy, and that honestly, this day and age, it's hard to find people that want to work hard. Especially the younger generations.
Is it really? Like, so these millennials or the kids that are coming up, getting out of college right now, 20s, maybe guys girls a little bit younger than you. Is it the video games, the social media, the millennial attitude? Is it an entitlement deal that people don't think they need to work?
I think it's more of an entitlement deal, especially kids that are coming out of college. They think they should be the supervisor right off the bat. Or they think that they shouldn't have to push a shovel because they went to school or went to college. Or they want to jump on a piece of equipment all like right when they get onto the job site. So yeah, I think it's more, like I said, the younger generation they're not self-motivated. They've been
coddled.
A lot of those kids have been given stuff throughout their life. They didn't really have to work for nothing. So it's very hard to find, especially like I said, the younger generation, a good, hard, motivated worker that wants to get dirty.
And working alongside your dad, knowing what his expectations have been since you were a young kid, is it difficult? A lot of father-son relationships have to stay that. They have to stay the father-son, friends, go and hang out, go camping, go hunt. But to work every single day of your professional life with your old man, and then go to the store and your mom's there, and then turn around and your brother's standing there, and then turn around your fiance's standing there. That's got to be difficult, or is it for the Ladues? Because it would seem that y'all would need a break from each other, but you guys are always together.
Always together.
Is that family always been like this? Has the pool store made it a better life because it's kept you guys in each other's lives on the daily? Are you like this with your extended family, or does it ever get tiresome to be around your old man and your mom and your brother and your fiance all the freaking time?
Obviously, working for your family, it is definitely a tough deal. Like I said, obviously they expect more from you, but that's probably one thing about the pool store and working with the family is it's kept us really close and really tight. Like I said, obviously we have days to where, we see each other all the time that we need that separation. But like I said, honestly, I think all of us working together all the time has kept us close-knit and always wanting to be around each other. And it's not a weird deal to be around us, each other all the time. Absolutely not. I love it.
100%. Like, I see that in you guys. You guys have a very close relationship.
Absolutely.
Almost to where I have even heard ramblings that Patty's a little upset with me because I've been taking her. I bring you guys over here all the time, and she hasn't got to throw her backyard parties enough this summer.
No, you know what? We've been hanging out at Child Buildings all summer this year, and she didn't like that because she usually, her Sunday dinners or usually have dinner at Mom's house, but we've been over at Building's house all the time.
Oh, God, I owe her an apology. Have you talked to her about what we talked about last night?
I just called her this morning. She was just calling me on the phone like 2 minutes ago.
What do you think she's going to say?
I wouldn't put it past her. I think she's going to be in for sure.
Yeah?
It'd be a good deal.
I like Patty a lot.
Yeah.
She's beautiful too.
Yeah, she's a good looking woman. Yeah. And she's a good soul. She has a good soul.
Great soul.
Yep.
So does Terry.
Yeah.
Terry's kind of a free-loving, conservative, hippie, work ethic guy, but like he wear the Tommy Bahama shirt, but then he'll be in his work attire. Like,
absolutely.
Terry gets after it, man. Terry's a stud.
He's a stud, absolutely.
New Yorker.
So
when you get to that backyard and it's been established now, they picked this pool. this cover, this heater, this unit.
This is the location where it's going to go. Yeah.
What is the first step? Do you get a can of spray paint and a wheel and you start marking stuff off and drawing lines?
10 form, you go. You got it.
And what does that entail?
Well, like I said, I mean, basically, you're just setting out the plot of the pool. So, like I said, we get in there. Basically, it's either dirt, blank slate. So we mark the pool out. The first thing is, obviously, you got to dig the hole. So that's the first start to installing a swimming pool. But even before that, I mean, there's probably 2 months of back work that we have to do, permits, planning, all that stuff before we even get into a backyard and actually dig a hole. There's a lot of stuff beforehand before we even get into a backyard.
So speaking of that, like HOA is one of those. I remember that, I've heard stories of you have to get qualified or approved by your HOA to have a pool. Why? Why is it the HOA's business what you do in your backyard?
That's a really good question. I don't know if I had the answer for that one. But like I said, before we even start permitting through the city and stuff, we absolutely got to get permission from the homeowners association before we can even proceed forward to permits and planning through the city.
HOAs are so crazy to me.
They're out of control.
I appreciate them for what they try to do, but sometimes you just shake your head and be like, "Are you kidding me?"
Right. The front yards I understand, but don't tell me what I can do in the backyard.
Yeah, it just seems like I understand that you got to pull a construction permit through the city or the county,
right?
Whatever. I get all that, staying legal and abiding by the laws and the regulations and construction zones and all that, but to actually have to get approval from this little board of people that might have a house in your neighborhood.
Absolutely.
It just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense at all.
A lot of things HOAs do don't make sense to me.
Yeah, especially you pay for them. And like I said, I mean, for them to tell you whether you can pool or spa in the backyard shouldn't be up to them. If it's your backyard, you bought the house, you should be able to do whatever you want to your backyard.
So when you're in that backyard, though, and you start to cut that ground, what are the precautions that are going on? I guess not precautions, but do you know, like, let's take my pool, for example, the Olympia, what's it called? The Olympia. Do you have it in your head right now of what you're going to do with that machinery? Like, you got to make this cut first, and then you got to take 3 scoops out of it here, and then you got to level it off and angle it down for the depth of the pool. Do you have that all memorized to where you can just, that's that pulled out, I got it, boom, and you light up the excavator and the backhoe and you get it cut?
No, obviously not. I mean, because each pool is a little different, depth-wise, width-wise, stuff like that. I mean, first thing we go off is basically your dig spec. So there's a schematic of each swimming pool on their depths, widths and stuff like that. So basically before I get in there, I mean, I'm looking at a dig spec and seeing how deep the pool is, how wide the pool is. So this dig spec will give me exactly, like I said, the depths, how wide.
You're saying dig spec, like the specifications of
each pool.
Of each pool.
So there's like a schematic of each pool that is printed out on a sheet, and basically it tells me the width, the depths, and how wide the pool is. So like basically that's what I go off of is a dig spec.
And so while you're cutting the ground with the machinery, you're before all this, like the permitting and everything, you had to make sure that you had to call in and make sure that the underground is okay to dig in. And then the things that you can run into, like you did this year in the downtown area, was a huge mass of rock and boulders that literally cost you guys months. And the homeowner you guys had to get creative and even had to tell me the story. You had to blow it up with some sort of explosive.
Yeah, it's a 2-part. Like a epoxy basically it was a 7-foot by 7-foot by 7-foot rock in the middle in right dead center of this swimming pool. No excavator big enough to get in the backyard to pull it out. So basically what we had to do is drill big holes in this rock, put that 2-part epoxy in, and what it does is it expands once you put water into this epoxy. And it expands up to like 20,000 psi, and basically we just broke the rock down foot sections at a time. And then like I said, it was 2 months I think to get that rock completely busted out of there. Like I said, that's the craziest thing I've ever seen. I mean, I've done 250, 500 pools maybe, and I've never encountered a rock that size ever.
And is this wheelbarrow loads of rock that you guys are busting your ass to get out of the yard, or did the homeowner get creative and want to use some of it in some decorative stuff?
So when that thing blew up, it blows off in small little chunks.
Really?
Yeah, so there's not huge chunks that didn't come off that rock. So no, like I said, we broke it down right in the middle of the hole, and then once the rock was completely gone, we brought an excavator back in and got all the rock that we busted out and pulled it out of the hole.
You pull it all out and just take it out.
Yep. Put it in the dump truck and take it out of there.
In the dump truck is something to where, do you guys contract all this out? Are there several different construction crews that you guys hire out to do this, or is this all owned and operated and taken care of by Sun Leisure? You own your own dump trucks and all of your equipment, and then you go and you pay to dump it in a landfill somewhere. How does that all work?
So Sun Leisure, we do everything in house. So we don't subcontract excavation, plumbing, gas line, electrical, anything like that. It's basically done in house. Like I said, we have our Bobcat. We have a couple of dump trailers, but usually what we do is we rent a dump truck for the couple days we need it, and then rent our PC equipment. Most likely it's an excavator or backhoe. But yeah, Sun Leisure we take care of everything in house. So we don't subcontract the excavation out. We do that all as our crew. We do it all.
And so the hole's dug, and now it's your dad that's with the logistics and the scheduling. Him and Pat are probably working with the pool manufacturer Viking, which we talked about yesterday with Pat. Viking has this line of molded pools. They say, okay, the Olympia's going up. They put on a flatbed diesel. They bring it into the area. You guys schedule a crane that lifts it off of this flatbed 18-wheeler, and it's placed in the kind of preliminary, like it sits in there, but it's still going to have to be shuffled around,
moved around,
and then
bit.
So then take it from there. It comes off. You got a crane. You tie it off with a bunch of tie downs and chains and everything. Set it into the hole, and now it's time to backfill. So all of that dirt that you took out, you have to leave some of it there to start backfilling the sides and the edges.
So usually we take all the dirt out, and we don't use the dirt that we dug out of the hole to backfill the pool. Not good for big rocks and stuff to go up against the swimming pool. So usually what we do is, once that pool's in the hole, obviously there's a lot of shifting around, getting it to where the homeowner likes it, because usually the hole is about 2 foot wider than the actual pool itself. So there's a little bit of movement, getting it parallel to a house, get it parallel to a fence. That's like the first step. And then our backfill, and before we even start backfilling, what we have to do is we have to level that fiberglass shell. It just 99% of the time we just don't drop it in the hole and it sits perfectly. There's always a little bit of adjustments we have to do with the height of the swimming pool, because like honestly, if we set a pool and an inch difference than the other end, the water's going to tell you the story when that pool gets all the way filled up that it wasn't leveled correctly when we did the installation. But yeah, so the first thing is get the pool in, shuffle it around, and we start leveling the pool up to make sure it's completely dead level. So when the water level gets up there, it doesn't look horrible. Because 1 inch on one side, if you have a 40-foot pool, I mean, you're going to have a huge difference in the water line after that 40 foot. You know what I'm saying? Just 1 inch would just look absolutely horrible
if you don't have it leveled off right.
100%.
So then after it starts to get leveled off, before you backfill, now you trench and you start to run the pipe, the electrical from the actual units of the pump and the chlorine tablet feeder and the heater if you do get one. And then you have piping that goes for the water part of it, to circulate the water. Absolutely. And all that. And then you have electrical, right? Yeah,
electrical conduit for all the LED lights. Like you know that you have the automatic cover, so we have to run electrical to the automatic cover. Like I said, so basically once that pool starts getting backfilled, we'll run over trenches, slap all of our pipes in, and then we wait for our first inspection, which is your PSI, your plumbing inspection, electrical inspection, and just to make sure that the depths of where your pipes in the trenches are 18 inches or deeper.
18 inches or deeper. So now inspector comes out, you and your dad meet him on the job site. Have you ever failed an inspection?
No, never actually. Never ever has actually failed an inspection.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, we got dinged once, but it's an easy deal. I mean, some inspectors are a lot more picky than others. And the thing about inspectors is you get maybe one inspector that comes to your job, but then you get another one on the same job, but they want completely different things. They don't talk together as inspectors, or they don't go off this, the same. They don't go off the same book. One inspector might want a little something than another inspector does. So they don't communicate as inspectors in the city, basically.
So you got the underground, the conduit, the electrical, the plumbing's all coming from the area where you're going to store all of the pool house equipment. You might have a pool house. You might have something like we did on a big pad that we built out.
Yep.
So now that pool is hooked up, everything is running on time. You check all of your stuff. Everything's turning on, powered up. It's working. Now it's time to start backfilling it, filling it, and making sure that the pool's secure in the ground.
Actually, no. So that when you get the pool running, that's going to be your last and final hurrah. So before we even get the pool running, we'll have it backfilled. The trenches are all buried up. The pool will be completely backfilled. Like I said, we don't use the old dirt. We use road base to backfill the edges of the pool. But yeah, so before we even turn on the swimming pool, my job will be almost completely done. So it'll be backfilled, trenches will be covered, the backyard will be cleaned up, leveled off, all the dirt will be leveled, and then at the very end is when we fire up your swimming pool.
And what does it take to fire it up? How does it have to be 100% completely full before you do that final stage of firing it up?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you got to make sure that thing's completely filled up before you start switching on breakers and turning on pumps.
And at this point, when it's got the water in it, it's been leveled off 100%. And is it backfilled completely all the way level to the ground and plush now before you and your dad light it up and do the final test?
Yes, sir.
And what does that take?
Just to fire up the swimming pool?
Yeah.
Basically, it's a flip of a couple breakers, and then she comes alive.
And what does that mean that the final walkthrough is getting ready to take place with that homeowner of like, look, here's where the pool level is. It's all level. It's all plush to the ground. You're ready to start the construction of your pool decking and all of that.
Yeah, the deck part of it.
And where do you see for the most part in this area for decking? Is pavers the most popular? Where is it at right now?
Pavers are the most popular thing right now. Cheaper, and they're a lot more decorative than just normal concrete. The thing about concrete is it's going to crack guaranteed no matter what, whether it be 1 year down the road or 10 years down the road. Cool thing about pavers, you can do all kinds of colors, designs, different patterns. And then if anything ever cracked, broke on a paver, all you have to do is pull it out and just plop a brand new paver in there. So basically, here in town, we're seeing a lot more pavers than actual concrete.
And the thing about pavers though is the heating of them, of how hot they get and how long they hold heat.
So to me, retain heat a lot.
They retain heat a lot.
Yeah.
So to me, that's kind of like not what you want around a pool.
I get it. Yeah, absolutely. We do find, like I said, the darker color pavers you get, like the blacks and the dark colors, they're going to retain the heat a lot. I guess that's the only downfall with pavers is that they absolutely do retain the heat a lot more than regular concrete.
Okay, so what about what I have around my deck? What is that stuff called?
Concrete?
Yeah, well, it's got
stamped.
I got stamped concrete, and then what's the other part called? The rough part around the pool to where it's non-slip.
Oh, that's a good question. You have to ask Russ about that.
I gotta have Russ on here. I wonder how Russ would do on a podcast.
Yeah, Russ he's killer at concrete.
Isn't he the best?
He's the best.
He is freaking the best.
Yeah, I mean he's doing a couple of our jobs right now, and every single job that he does turns out phenomenal.
He is. Like, he's got so much. What's cool about Russ is not just his work ethic, but his vision. And that dude can spec something out and be like what he did here. Like, you talk a little bit about what you saw come alive here.
Oh, I mean, geez, I mean, like I said, I mean, once we got the pool done, Russ came in here and he just kicked butt. I mean, his talents of making tables and making concrete forms of all kinds. I mean, the guy is just phenomenal.
What'd you think of the bar and everything when it started to come alive?
Well, when I seen the hole next to the pool, I about lost it. I've never seen something like that, a swim-up bar off of a fiberglass swimming pool. So I was blown away coming back after, our part was done and seeing how big of a hole was next to the swimming pool for your swim-up bar. It was insane.
I know.
I think it was like 5-6 foot deep before we started putting the floor in.
It was 6 feet deep.
It was 6 foot deep.
And then he had to build the wall in between the pool and all of that. And he really there a lot of work went into that.
There was a lot of, absolutely.
It's crazy.
It was crazy. And like I said, we had the track for the auto cover, on the edge of the pool. So he had to, pour concrete around that because he had to build a wall for, the swim up bar. I mean, it was insane what he did.
Is that something that you see pool owners going to more and more of, fancying out their area and making it like a resort area? Like, it's going to be their backyard. I mean,
building people's dreams is what I say. Yeah, I built someone's dream for sure.
They love it.
They love it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, I just build people's dreams. And the thing is, I guess, I mean, obviously, the more money you have, it's going to be a little easier to make that resort style backyard. But a lot of the times, people just want a decent, simple swimming pool, just to enjoy with the family. Like, you know, we've enjoyed your pool all year, and that's all people basically want.
All 8 years since you put it in.
I was going to go there. I was going to say that.
8 years.
8 years. Maybe 9. Maybe
it's been
9.
in 2. It's been in 2.
Until 2007. Well, that's how you know I've done so many swimming pools, because I don't remember, because I do so many a year. It's just like I'd lose track of who I finish, and, you know, because I'm always on to the next job.
So if money's not an issue for Brad Ladue, and you have 5 acres and a badass pad with you and Brittany are getting ready to build after this big wedding next June, what pool do you pick? What color? And then we'll go back to the rest of this installation of the final walkthrough.
Olympia. I mean, the Olympia, the pool that you have with that swim step, is the most popular pool we sell around town. You have the crystal blue or the sapphire blue, which 99% of the people pick because they like that blue watercolor. For me, there's a sand color that I would probably choose over the blue.
Really?
Yeah, just because the color of the water looks like you're like an Aruba a little bit. So it's a lot lighter instead of like that dark blue. It's more like a crystal blue color. You know what I'm saying? It's not.
So what if
dark.
I want to change mine out? Can they come in and paint it?
Wait, give us 7 years.
7 years? Really?
No, you can switch it out. You don't want to do that for a while, though.
I don't want to switch the pool out. I want them to come in and paint the pool and make it sand.
Yeah, we can maybe do that.
Really?
Maybe. I'll have to talk to him. Talk to Lathan.
I don't think that they paint it, though. It's like injected in there.
Yeah, it's in the gel coat. It's like a boat.
Yeah.
So they basically put it in the mold of the fiberglass.
So you get the final walkthrough done, and the pool level's complete. It's level. It's all plush. Everything's backfilled. The electrics ran. The plumbing's ran. Now you got the tracks of the auto cover. Is that the last step of making sure that the auto cover is in place and the remote's working on that, the switch?
Absolutely. And like I said, we get all the tracks and everything installed, the box installed where the auto cover rolls up in the deep end of the pool usually. And then we usually don't slap the skin on until they're completely done with the deck. Because if you put a nice skin on there, if you do pavers, I mean, they cut a lot of pavers, so the dust from the pavers. Concrete, you don't want concrete on the cover because you don't want to ruin a brand new cover. So usually we wait till everything is done, their deck's poured, backyard's done, and then we'll come in and we'll just slap the auto cover skin on. And that'll be the last deal. Because like I said, you don't want to get it all dirty during other parts of the construction job of your backyard.
Would you own a pool without an automatic cover?
Absolutely not.
Why?
Just the way it keeps it clean, keeps water from evaporating out of it, less chemical use. You retain a lot more heat during the nighttime. That's when you lose a lot of your heat, is when we have those 30, 40 degree fluctuations in temperature. Chemical load, I mean, you're going to use a lot less chemicals. And like I said, you're going to save water by...
the safety part of the cover too is big, right?
100%.
Because of the insurance and everything that goes into it, and you keeping it secure from any. Pat and I touched on that, which again is crazy to me that somebody could trespass on your property and then jump in your pool and get hurt,
and then
be your fault.
Right.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like I said, that's the good thing about an auto cover. They have a lockable switch. Lock the box up, close the cover. No one can get in there.
How secure? Who is the manufacturer of the covers that y'all work with?
Cover Star, they're out of Utah, Salt Lake City.
Cover Star, they're badass. Now, the reason they're badass is that we get snowfall here.
Absolutely.
We get some torrential downpours once in a while, not like Florida, but when it rains here, it can get it.
Yeah, our summers can get nasty.
Is it true that you could like walk across these covers or put like at one time was I told by one of the Ladues that you could put like a family of 5 and take a picture on it, a family portrait?
Heck yeah, absolutely. So I was just following my rep on Facebook. A couple days ago, he posted a video of him driving a 2-seater Razor in the middle of the safety cover, and that thing not given away.
Which we don't recommend trying this
Absolutely not. No, don't do that at
He's
home.
driving a Polaris Ranger across the pool cover.
Rolled it onto the pool cover. Rolled it right out to the middle. Drove it out to the middle of the pool cover. And it held all, 1,200 pounds with 2 guys in it.
Did it really?
It 100% did.
Whose pool was it?
His pool. That rep's pool that lives in...
Dude, that takes some freaking... that takes some cojones to do that. He could have ripped right through that.
Yeah. They all have life vests on.
That Polaris in the bottom of the pool?
That would be crazy. Tow truck, you have to get that sucker out, huh?
That's a freaking story.
That's a story. Yeah, so they're amazing. I mean, they hold 1,000+ pounds. I mean, tons of water. I mean, snow load can get up to, on a 40-foot pool, I mean, probably 1,200 pounds easy. And what happens is, so the water underneath the swimming pool kind of supports the weight of everything. So this auto cover is not taut and tight across the surface. It basically has a little bag to where it'll sag into the water. So what's actually happening is the water from the swimming pool underneath the auto cover is basically holding majority of the weight.
That makes sense.
You know what I'm saying?
But it was still like a water bed. You put enough weight on a water bed, it would pop it. This cover, though, man, the way that it's built and engineered, it's got a lot of research into it. The way that it can support that,
absolutely.
It's freaking killer.
Yeah, they're amazing.
So that goes on. You close it up. You guys are gone.
Well, like I said, obviously I'll spend 2.5 hours with our customers, clients, going over how to work everything, pump turning on and off. We'll go over how to do the chemistry. I'll walk them through how to clean the swimming pool, how all the equipment works, how to backwash the sand filter or cartridge filter, whatever you may have. Yeah, so that'll be the last deal. After I get the auto cover on, I'll pick a night, go out to their house when both husband and wife are home, and I'll spend 2.5 hours out there with them, going over how to work it, how to clean it, how to take care of it, how to do the chemicals, and in all that good stuff.
And then it's, that's the best form of business flattery, is word of mouth. So this experience now goes full circle from Patty and Pat in the store, and then Terry and Brad and the crew outside the store.
And we finish it off.
Your fiance, Brittany's helping out wherever.
Crazy.
And now the buying experience is complete. The pool's in the ground, and now it's up to that homeowner of what their deck's going to look like and their construction around it and what the concrete pavers, bar, whatever, waterfalls. The word of mouth now is key in the pool business because...
And it's key here in Reno.
You guys have some marketing. You have a storefront with some words on the window. You have an Instagram account that it is what it is.
It's not great, yeah.
Facebook, same thing. I would think that most of your business is that word of mouth through that experience of people saying it was a pleasure to work with these guys. I don't know how many people we've recommended to you over the last year and a half or whatever,
sure.
Just based on what the experience was, right? Hey, yeah, you got from Joey Gilbert to Jenna to Neil, Neil Fincher,
absolutely.
Plus many more of people that want pools because they come here and they see it and then they're like, well, how did the experience go? And I'm like, oh, they're badass to work with.
Right.
So that's got to be 90% of your business, right?
100%, especially here in Reno. So, I mean, we are a small town. Being around 35 years in business, obviously has helped us self-promote ourselves. I mean, we don't need a lot of PP or advertising or nothing like that. Just being around for 33 years, being good family, taking care of our customers and really getting to know people is what spread our company here in Reno, word of mouth wise, because like I said, all it takes is one little hiccup. And if you're a bad business owner here in Reno, I mean, it gets around quick. You won't be in business very long if you're not a very good business guy. Respectable business guy.
How many times has it happened to where a homeowner that has a pool moves and builds another home and they bring you guys along with them?
Multiple times. So we're just district attorney for Washoe County. Put his swimming pool in probably 5 years ago. Getting ready to buy a new house this next year. He's already on the board for 2021 to get a new swimming pool.
We're paying our DAs way too much.
So yeah, I mean, it happens all the time. People that get a swimming pool once from us, if they ever move and they want another one, 99% of the time they come back to us.
Because it's not easy. Again, when people see what we do, they're like, man, you guys just get to hunt. And I'm like, yeah, that's part of it.
There's a lot.
But putting in pools and running a pool business is a difficult business. It's a lot of responsibility comes with it.
Absolutely.
And the more pleasurable you can make that experience, it's not just going and getting a doughboy and setting it up or a kiddie pool at Walmart.
Together,
it's not like that.
No, not at all.
This is a huge undertaking of completely changing the makeover of somebody's backyard
Sure.
and going in there, you got to be on your, you got to be on your A game to where you're safe. You're not messing with their house. You're not breaking existing parts around their landscaping. And then it's all about, providing that ultimate service of that end goal of being like, yeah, man, we would appreciate if you guys recommend us to whoever's in the market.
Yeah, and
for a
then the
pool.
after service, I mean, is a big thing. Just taking care of our clients, like I said, biggest part. Making sure they're taken care of. And like when we start a big job, we don't want them to stress about what's going to go on in their backyard. We're going to take care of that stress. Let the homeowner just, be at home, not have to worry about the whole process. We'll basically walk them through the whole process and make it easy for them. And they don't have to really worry about any of the process going on. We'll just take it. Once they sign the paperwork, we just take it and go with it.
So do you help out with the delivery of the spas also?
Everything that's sold out of our retail store, I put my hands on.
So you guys have come up with this badass little custom trailer delivery unit thing that you guys...
Spa trailer.
Yeah, the spa trailer is pretty slick. The spas are a big part of business. In this area, they're probably way bigger business than pools, I'd imagine, with the climate and the we're not Vegas or Phoenix.
Close to Tahoe. People love their, up in Tahoe, they love their hot tubs.
Yeah.
Sure.
Hot tubs are awesome.
They're amazing.
So I got my hot tub from you guys before I went into this vision of the pool.
Yeah.
Hot tubs are a business to where you can go to, again, Costco and get a hot tub.
Yep.
And then have it delivered. And then what? You got to have somebody do the work that you guys do, from the 50 amp panel to the everything from filling it and the chemistry and the pH and all of this. I mean, I'm not saying that you can't do it or I couldn't do it if I learned it. But again, I'm of the mindset that I want it perfect. So I'm going to have the people like you and your brother and your mom and dad that know that business like the back of their hand take care of that spa. And that's the experience that you get at Sun Leisure, as opposed to, just going to a big outlet like Costco, which Costco's a great place and
Absolutely.
they serve a great purpose.
Sure.
But when it comes to a marquee hot tub and having somebody that understands it, and now again, providing that ultimate buying experience, from picking the spa out to matching it to their existing parts of their backyard, where it goes, the placement of it, the delivery, the drop off, the installation, the electric, filling it up, the pH, everything that goes into it, teaching them about the jets and the panel and the LED lighting and all of that stuff. That's why I would say, why would anybody ever just go buy a hot tub? I would recommend going to Sun Leisure 100%.
Yeah, you're just not going to get the service through Costco. If something ever broke down with a hot tub, you're not going to get a service guy from Costco that's going to come out and fix it. That's the good thing about buying from local business that knows what they're doing. Because you buy a marquee hot tub from us, you're obviously going to get our service techs, and all our service guys that will ever come out. If there was ever a problem with the hot tub, and come fix it. That's the reason you probably don't want to buy from Costco, because you're just not going to get the after service, the aftercare, like you would at like a small retail store business. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%. So are you just as fired up when you get a spa order, or is your mindset like, man, I hope every day I'm digging and I'm putting pools in the ground? Or does it matter to you personally?
I would probably prefer, so hot tubs are easy, good money. Buy a hot tub. It takes me about an hour and a half to drop it in your backyard, and we're done. Swimming pool construction, obviously, I mean, it takes us from the time we start digging, probably 2 weeks, 10 working days, 14 working days until we're out of there. Hot tub, like I said, it's pretty easy. Drop them in a slab or in a hole or whatever, fill them up, flip on the breaker, and you're good to go. But I prefer to do pools rather than hot tub deliveries any day.
Just because it keeps your mind right?
Yep.
What about these swim spas that I know somebody that just bought one? What are they?
Basically, an exercise hot tub. So they're big 14, 16-foot hot tubs with lots of jets, almost like an endless pool. So basically just swimming against a current. You can buy row kits for them. So it's basically like an exercise hot tub. And people are huge into fitness these days, so they're very popular.
So you can have it at 104 degrees for hot tub in the wintertime, but then drop it to
60,
70 degrees or wherever
absolutely.
you want it for your summertime pool water?
Summertime pool water, yep. And then, like I said, you swim against it, you can exercise in it. I mean, they're like I said, people are into health right now. That's the hot taken items.
They are badass.
They're
I wonder if we
badass.
should get one for here. Just have all of it, the hot tub, the swim spa, and the pool.
We need a kiddie pool.
So are you an adrenaline junkie, Brad Ladue?
I am a little bit.
Like you're not afraid to die? Like have you ever jumped out of a perfectly good airplane?
Never.
Would you?
Absolutely.
Why not? Haven't you?
I guess I've never just had the opportunity.
But you do have 300 plus hours of private pilot and flying.
And 30 hours of aerobatic time, upside down time.
30 hours of flying upside down.
Yes, sir. I love it.
Why would you do that?
Because I'm an adrenaline junkie. And the first time you take an airplane and you go from here and you flip it upside down, it's a feeling that you'll never, ever get anywhere else. It's the biggest, fastest, tallest roller coaster in the world, basically, of what I tell people. When you start getting the airplane, flipping it upside down and doing all the loop-to-loops and all that good stuff, it is the fastest, highest, scariest roller coaster out there.
How does this mission start off? You just wake up one day and say, I'm going to study to, because there's a written test. Then there's all of the lessons, all that. How does this even come to fruition?
So, long story. I mean, years ago when I was 2, 3, 4 years old, I just had a fascination with airplanes. My mom and dad used to take us down to Mill Street, and I used to sit at the end of the runway and just watch airplanes land for an hour and a half at a time. That's where my passion for airplanes started. And then I was in high school, my buddy's uncle had his personal pilot's license. He took me up in a Cessna 172. We did a little flight up to South Lake Tahoe, and after that, I was hooked. I was going. I mean, that's the only. There was nothing stopping me from getting my pilot's license. Yeah, so it was a passion since I was a little kid.
Do you still find time to fly?
I haven't flown in probably a year and a half.
Why is that?
Busy. Everyone's so busy. I mean, our business is busy. I just haven't found time to go back.
Have you brought your fiance up?
She won't go on an airplane with me.
I wouldn't marry her then. You gotta be.
Yeah, she won't go. She will. Nope.
She doesn't trust you?
Oh, she trusts me.
Has Pat gone?
Yeah.
Has Terry?
Yes, Terry's gone.
Just the two of you?
Just me and my brother. My dad went on an aerobatic flight with my flight instructor.
And you went upside down with Terry?
Yeah. He loved it.
Did he really?
Yeah, he couldn't drive home though because all the G's. Like when you get out of going upside down on an airplane, it'll wear you out just because all the G forces.
Did he throw up?
Almost. He was lightheaded enough he couldn't drive home.
Did you ever throw up?
I've never thrown up.
Never have.
But it's like I said, when you start doing aerobatics, you start off slow. So you might go up for 20 minutes at a time, and then you slowly work up tolerance to G forces. So when I started going, I was like, this is 20 minutes at a time, and then by the 30th hour, I mean, I was up doing aerobatic stuff for almost a full hour.
And what altitude are you at?
Usually you start between 16,000 foot.
And what's the highest you've ever gone in the planes you fly? What are you flying? Like just single engine prop?
Cessna 172s.
172s?
Yeah.
Is that your favorite plane to fly?
It's the only plane I've ever flown. But I would love to fly everything else.
Are you going to try to work your way up to jets?
No. Too much time. A lot of money.
A lot of money?
Flight time is very expensive.
It is?
Yeah. And if I wanted to get into jet time, it'd probably end up costing me $75,000.
So you're 35 right now. What age will you be when you buy your first private plane? Is this a goal? Do you want a private plane in a hangar somewhere?
I would love one, but I wouldn't buy one by myself because they're a lot of maintenance, a lot expensive to maintain, keep up.
So it's like a boat. Like you buy a boat, you use it 4 times in a year. You're just like, you should have a partner, but then that gets kind of iffy when you have partners on boats. And
big plane sales, that's usually how they go. So they have, usually people buy them in thirds. So you'll buy with 3 different partners. So when you go do the maintenance, trying to take care of the thing, you guys split it 3 different ways. So it's not so expensive. You know what I'm saying? You just kind of split up the maintenance costs of everything 3 different ways. But then you just use it whenever the other guy's not using it.
So after a year and a half of not flying at all, are you qualified still, or do you have to keep a certain amount of hours under your belt in a certain amount of time? Could you go rent a plane right now and take me up after a year and a half of not flying at all? Is it like riding a bike? Like once you got it, you can't forget it?
Nope. I got to go up with a flight inspector and get a flight. It's like a refresher, and basically what he'll do is just sign after that hour. He'll sign the back of my logbook, and then I'm ready to fly again. So I have to kind of every year you have to keep up, kind of just go with a flight instructor and kind of keep up with, just make sure you're competent to fly the
Where's
airplane.
your favorite place you've ever flown over? Tahoe's got to be one of them.
Tahoe's awesome. Yeah. Gorgeous. Love it. South Lake is amazing.
It is?
Yeah. I mean, I haven't flown I went to Winnemucca. There's nothing up to see there. I went out to Susanville a couple times. I actually went to Quincy once to go eat some breakfast in the morning. That was pretty cool at one of the little restaurants at the airport.
You just flew up there by yourself?
Yeah, with a buddy of mine. We
just eat breakfast?
Yep, land, eat some breakfast, get back in the airplane, and head home.
Quincy's surrounded by mountains.
I love it. Beautiful.
You just drop right down in the mountains and hit the runway?
Yeah, you got it, buddy.
How long a runway do you need on that Cessna 172?
Tiny. I mean,
1,000 feet, or what's the takeoff on that?
Probably 1,500 foot, 2,000
For landing too?
Oh, yeah.
Is landing more dangerous than taking off, or vice versa?
Landing's more dangerous than taking off.
Why?
It's hard to get an airplane to stick onto the runway. It's easy to get it off. To grease the landing is a lot more challenging than just hitting the power and then taking off.
So
landing.
Would it still shake you up a little bit? Do you get nervous at all in the landing?
No, it's just like riding a bike.
Is it?
Yeah.
No problem.
It's like driving a car.
Reno's got to be one of the more difficult airports to take off and land in.
Turbulence. You got that, what do they call it, the Sierra wave?
Does turbulence scare you at all when you're on a commercial flight?
Absolutely not.
Not one bit?
Nope.
So that pilot, through your training what those pilots are doing up there. A lot of them are ex-military.
True.
There's nothing to be scared of.
Nope.
Turbulence isn't going to mess you up.
Nope.
Even though it can get kind of rocky.
It can get rocky. Like I said, Reno is one of the tougher airports to fly into.
What about when you're at 35,000 feet and you hit a wind shear and it just starts rocking the plane? That doesn't bug you either?
Nope.
Not one bit.
That airplane's not a perfectly geared airplane's just not going to fall out of the sky.
So when you're on your Polaris Ranger that you have, are you one of these idiot daredevils that's going 90 and jumping off sand mountains and stuff and not knowing where you're going to land and all that shit? Are you that crazy?
No.
You got to start calming down a little bit, bro. You got kids coming up, maybe. You got a wedding coming up.
I know. Nope.
You know,
we don't do that no more.
Anymore.
Absolutely not. And like I said, those Rangers are dangerous. They're dangerous. They go way too fast.
Way too fast.
And just for a seatbelt or the 2 lap belts you have, not even worth it. And like I said, we've heard stories, close friends of ours have, seen some treacherous stuff happen this summer with those things. They're dangerous.
Very.
So yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I have done 75 miles an hour being a knucklehead, but
it's crazy.
Time to cool your jets a little bit.
The other part of your adrenaline rush is wakeboarding. You love to wakeboard. Now, I've seen you backflip off the bar. Are you badass wakeboarder to where you can jump the wake, backflip it, and do some of these trick out stuff that the pros do?
Pretty simple. No, I can jump the wake, I can jump it, do a backflip, but none of the whirly birds and all the other stuff they got going. So I'm pretty simple. I can just backflip over the wake and that's it.
So do you still feel at this point in your life that it's worth doing that, or does it hurt a little bit more and more every time you do that now?
So yeah, like I said, I've kind of not given up on wakeboarding, but I'm not as crazy as when I once was. Wakeboarding is fast. I mean, everything that you do is between like 21, 25 miles an hour. And it hurts when you hit the water. So I've kind of cooled my jets on that too. I've kind of got into more of the wake surf deal where, it's a lot slower. You're not strapped into a board. Your legs aren't strapped into the bindings and you're just kind of surfing behind the boat. So I've kind of steered clear for a while of wakeboarding because when you do fall on a wakeboard, backflipping or whatever, jump in the wake even, when you hit the water, it hurts. So I've kind of slowed my roll a little bit on wakeboarding because, like I said, it does hurt.
Did you wear your mom and dad, Terry and Patty, out as a kid with how picky of an eater you are?
Oh,
I got all these. I got all these thoughts going through my head about you.
Good.
It drives me nuts to see the way you eat. Like I would just shake you if you were my kid, maybe not abuse everybody out there, not abuse. No. But I'd be like, what are you thinking? Did you drive them nuts with
batty.
How picky you are?
Absolutely batty. I drove them crazy.
Because you're still pretty picky at 35.
True, but I've expanded my horizons a little bit.
Thanks to Brittany. And us coming out here a little bit. You've eaten sweetbreads out here. You're eating octopus once in a while.
Game now, yeah.
You're eating wild game.
It's crazy.
Your dad's even eating my scallops. He can't get enough of them. And he hates seafood.
He hates raw seafood.
So is your dad a picky eater too?
No. Definitely not. I don't know where I got it from.
What does it mean? You got Italian descent in you. You got all these different origins of your family, New York, East Coast, all this stuff. Your mom loves to cook. She makes some unreal dips and appetizers for the parties out here. I can't wait to eat at her house this week. I'm hoping that we do. Patty, that's a hint to you if you're listening out there. How does it even start? My dad would literally make me sit at a table with
multiple
he made my
times.
brother Clay sit at a table one
times.
time with pea soup or cream of broccoli soup. And Clay sat there for like 5 hours until
I
he
did the
finished
same
it.
thing multiple times. I mean, times where I was falling asleep at the dinner table still, 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Because you wouldn't eat your cream of corn?
I wouldn't even eat 2 of the bites. I mean, you know how parents are when they were young? I mean, they'd be like, just eat 2 bites and you'll be good. I wouldn't even touch it.
Why? Was it the way it tasted, the way it felt in your mouth? What was the deal?
I have no idea. I couldn't answer you that. I mean, because I have no idea.
But you eat like a freaking child. You eat Mambas. You eat more candy, like not even good candy. You eat like
I'm a candy fanatic.
But Sour Patch Kids. You're a 35-year-old working man, and you eat Sour Patch Kids like they're going out of style.
I love them. My pockets are filled with them all the time.
Dude, you eat, and then here's the other part of Brad Ladue is you eat fast food at least. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, go ahead. Speak to me, Goose.
7 times a week.
No, not 7. That's bull. I'd say at least 4 to 5 times.
Okay, sorry. So once a day during the work week.
Probably 9 times. Well, yeah, 88% of the time. So, yeah, don't eat healthy.
You look like you're in shape, but I would be scared to like take your blood. It might be a different color or something. You're not worried. You're not worried about like.
It scares me. Sure, I haven't been to the doctor in years. I have no idea. You want me to get blood work next time, but I'm like, I don't want to get blood work.
You're scared of what it'll say?
Yeah.
So if you have a cholesterol or a diabetic problem or something with your blood pressure or something because of your diet. Now, you do a lot of manual labor and you burn a lot of calories.
Sure.
I know one of Clay's friends that works for UPS. She has like 650 deliveries a day, maybe 500 to 650.
Right.
She eats McDonald's like every day. That can't be good for you no matter how many calories you're burning.
Yep. And like I said, well, obviously my fiance is always pushing me, she's trying to make me lunches and stuff like that.
You barely will take a brown sack lunch from her though. She's like, I'll make you a nice turkey sandwich with a little bit of cheese.
The thing is I can't eat cold sandwiches every day. And that's probably why I resort to go to eat fast food. Because I can't eat a cold turkey sandwich or whatever 5 times, 5 times a week.
What about a salad?
I'm not really a salad lover.
Okay, so then let's talk about this fast food diet as part of Dickies workwear. Like you're working, you're out there, you're on the job, you're sweating, the whole crew. What do? Like go sit down at Jack in the Box and you guys all order Jack in the Box, or like
90% of my crew brings their lunch every day.
Just you and your dad will pop over to M&M's Fried Fish House or what?
Nope.
Oh yeah, you don't
Pops,
eat fish.
Yep. Pops brings his lunch every day.
Pops does too.
Every day.
So you leave the job site and go get a Whopper.
That's it.
And then
Bring
stop
it back.
and then stop at 7-Eleven and get a bunch of freaking
Sour Patch Kids and Skittles. No, I go and grab what I need to eat and I'll bring it back to the job site.
Which is what mostly? What's your fast food of choice?
My go-to?
What is the best fast food in Reno?
I don't know. That's a good question.
What do you like? Is it Chick-fil-A?
I mean, obviously,
guy?
no. Yeah, In-N-Out for sure. In-N-Out's always great.
Better than McDonald's?
Oh, bet your butt.
So what is the best? Is In-N-Out the best burger where there is?
Yeah, fast food wise.
Have you ever been when you're down in Texas? Do you ever eat a Whataburger?
I've had one.
They're good, huh? I don't think they're as good as In-N-Out.
I don't either.
But when you're in Texas, those freaking Cowboys, they lose their shit for it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Whataburger.
Yeah, they're everywhere. Even like I said, so Des and Kyle live in Dallas, and they choose In-N-Out over Whataburger too.
They would?
Oh, absolutely.
In-N-Out is amazing.
Amazing.
So fresh.
Yep.
What else though? Like, do you
Jack in the Box is probably my go-to.
Ugh.
I'm just saying.
And what do you eat there?
Sourdough Jack, baby.
That is disgusting. Like that's there is
you
no
asked me
way
the
that's even
questions.
beef. There's no way that's even.
You're probably
beef.
right. Yeah, it's probably quail.
I'm not looking down on you. I'm worried about you because
I like that. I appreciate that a lot.
Your diet is so weird to me. It is literally like my nephew Chase has a better adult-sized diet than you do. Like
you're right.
He's just like he's just nabbing raw.
Maybe that'll be my 2021
goals.
There you go.
Of broadening your horizons of eating more.
Yeah, taking care of myself more.
I can just picture Terry and Patty after a long day at the pool store coming home and putting dinner on the table, and then you're sitting there going, I'm not eating that.
With my nose up in the air. Heck no, I'm not touching that.
Oh,
if it doesn't come out of a bag, I don't want it.
It would wear me in. So as you get into this part of your career, and you're 35, and you were going to get married this year, but COVID kind of put the halt on that. So you're getting married in 2021. We got big day planned for that. But a bigger part of this is, you start to move into fatherhood potentially. You start to have kids with Brittany. You guys start to build your own family now. Terry and Patty are relaxing a little bit. Hopefully Terry loosens up on the reins a little bit as far as his work hours go. He might be a grandpa pretty soon, right? After you guys' wedding. Don't know what Pat's doing. Pat's on his road. He's going to keep maturing into his life. But at the same time, you got to keep the business first and foremost at the front of everybody's brain and make sure that because this is how you're going to raise your kids. This is
second generation. Yeah, we'll have hopefully a third generation.
So is this something to where it's going to be passed down to you guys? Are you guys buying Patty and Terry out of the business? Do you see this to where you're going to be 100% Sun Leisure for the rest of your working days?
I see that. And like I said, I don't think they'll give anything to us. They never have. Everything that I've ever done, I've always had to work my butt off. I mean, my dad has always instilled that into us, that he won't, obviously super successful, but he's never given anything to us without us working for it. So I don't think he's just going to hand us a business and say, here you go, boys, have after it. Obviously we're going to have to show him that we're responsible enough. And I think obviously we're going to have to, eventually buy him out of the business. And I know that they're always going to be in it no matter what till the day they pass away. My mom and dad will always be in that business. But yeah, so me and Pat will eventually have to buy them out. And like I said, I see me being a Sun Leisure guy for the rest of my life.
So you're excited to keep this business going of what Terry and Patty started.
You're
excited to get you and your brother take it. Now, is it going to be a next level of business? Are you guys going to evolve it when Terry loosens up a little bit? Is there going to be some new school techniques used?
He's an old dog and they don't like new tricks. So it's been interesting to try to push new technology, new ways of doing things on him, because he's old school. If it's not broke, don't fix it. So he doesn't like new technology. But me and Pat we'll do all kinds of new stuff once we get into the reins of things.
I'm anxious to see it.
Me too.
And if you have your choice when these kids start popping out, what do you want? What do you hope it is? You want a little son that you take to the baseball game? You want a daughter that you and Brittany get to buy bows for? You want one of each? You guys going to have 6 kids. What's the goal here?
I'd prefer to have one boy to start, but I think I'm going to be a girl dad for sure, because there's a special relationship between a daughter and a father.
The best.
Yeah, so I think I'd honestly want a boy, but I'd want 1 and 1. So I'd want a boy and a girl. Doesn't matter, I guess.
Do you think Terry wants to be a grandpa?
100%.
Think Patty wants to be a grandma?
Absolutely.
They'd be good at it.
Yep.
Now, what if one of these kids comes out and you put food on the table and your son's like, I'm not eating that? Are you going to smack him around a little bit? Or are you going to be understanding, well, it must run in the family?
We'll go with you. We'll shake him up a little bit.
Come on, dude.
Yeah, it's going to be wild. Hopefully they're not as picky as me. I'm just going to let mom handle it. Trust me, you don't want the wrath of Brittany. If she's a
7.7.
She's just out of 8.
Out of 8. Oh, she's gonna be mad when she hears that. Just kidding, Brittany. Just kidding.
She's gonna be so mad.
Nah, she'll be all right. All right, what are your closing words? Sun Leisure Pools 2020. Get out of this shit year, and 2021 is gonna be a brand new year. We're gonna have a bunch of fun again. What are your closing words? Where you want to be? You're humbled that your family business is so successful. You got to be very thankful, with full of gratitude for mom and dad.
Absolutely.
They've done a great job raising you and Pat.
Thank you, sir.
You guys are great. You guys obviously have a great brotherhood together.
Sure.
What do you see? Are you just thankful as hell that this opportunity came along when you were a kid and that you're seeing it through?
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. Like I said, they gave us all the tools in the world. Now we just got to take them and run with them.
Check them out on Instagram at Sun Leisure Pools, Facebook Sun Leisure Pools, online sunleisurepools.com. Is that what it is?
.net.
Sunleisurepools.net. Reno, Nevada, Sparks, Nevada, Northern Nevada.
Truckee Meadows
for all your pool, hot tub, spa needs. They're official dealer of Marquee Pools and Marquee Hot Tubs and Viking Pools. They're a joy to work with. We will have them back on the podcast again. Please continue to support the partners and sponsors that support our TV shows, our podcasts, our live events, and our social media efforts. Thank you to Dickies for believing in us to take on this undertaking of Dickies Workwear Podcast. We want to hear your stories. Write in info@thislifeaintforeverybody. Tell us who you want on the show. Let's talk to the American workers out there, the workers around the world. It doesn't matter what walk of life you come from. We were put on this earth to work and provide for our families. My dad always taught me that. I'm humbled to be a working man, and I want everybody to work as hard as they can, be community leaders, and take our country to the next level. Tom, hit that button. This is 2 a.m. Logic. It's called My Foul Life. Thank y'all so much for listening to Dickies Workwear Podcast.
My season in front of me, I know morning isn't far away. I can't help but smile.